we tend to label things a lot. And when we come out of the labeling and we just want to experience something ourselves without having to go through someone else's stuff, and we let go of all the past experience that we don't like, and we just dive in into this new feeling, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
We just dissolve.
Hello, and welcome back to the podcast Biz on the Brain with your host, me, Annemarie, where we talk about all things intuition in life and business, how to be your most unapologetic and authentic self, and how to get there if you aren't yet, because it's a progress, it's a process, it's forever changing as you were changing. And my quest is to just really be full on me everywhere. So it's not confusing for people who find me on different platforms because I'm me everywhere. If they don't like it, they can just go their merry way because we are so many people on this planet that why would you stick around with something that you don't resonate with? And at the same time, attract the kind of people who like my quirky vibe as the people on this podcast. And Elena Lafferty, especially, I vibe with so well. We had such an amazing conversation. It was almost like a coaching session because she is a coach and she is the most intuitive, sensitive, and caring in her approach. It's amazing. Like, you really feel heard and seen, and she's very gentle about it. And she also can read you pretty well. And you will see that in this podcast episode. She called me out in the nicest way because, you know, it's necessary. And I do self-reflect, but I end up in my head all the time. And then I spin myself into circles and nothing happens. So externalizing my thoughts really helps me, which is another reason why I have this podcast. And if you are similarly, inclined, especially if you have ADHD like I do, then please listen to this episode, take notes, self-reflect, but externalize it. Write it down, talk to somebody, talk to yourself, talk to a mirror, talk to your video, whatever it is, get it out there before it consumes you. Please don't. And if you've got any questions, as always, you can connect with me or Elena on social media. All of the links are down below in the show notes and description. And without further ado, here is Elena. Hello, and thank you for being here on the podcast. I love having you here, Elena, and we met outside so many times in this lovely networking group called Affinity, and we always have great chats. You're such a gentle person, and sometimes when I have bad days, you cheer me up. You're amazing, and you are just such a blessing. So I'm so happy to have you on the podcast to share your light and share your joy and your expertise. So welcome.
Oh, thank you so much. You're going to make me cry.
All the emotions, bring them on.
I know. But where's my tissue?
Maybe I should put that in a disclaimer. People bring a tissue when you come on the podcast. I'm gonna make you cry.
It's gonna be emotional.
I love it. No, it's okay. So tell us about what you do and who you are and all of the good stuff about your business.
All right. So what I do intuitive coaching and mentoring. And I work with high-performing women who would like to create more, life that is fulfilled without having to chase their tail, and that to make a better use of their time, their well-being, and still earn what they want to earn, if not more. And I use various techniques, including healing techniques, mindset shifts. I also use strategies and align steps toward the life that they want to have.
And you're a very, I would say, like, intuitive person, a very attentive listener. So, like, you know, you have all of these techniques, but you also see through people in the best of ways, you know, because we always like to play tricks on ourselves or like to self-sabotage or focus on problems that are actually just symptoms or surface level things when we're afraid to look deeper. And so you're very helpful guidance in that aspect where you're just, you know, gently point things out. Not just like sledgehammer method. You're like so nice.
Yes. I can see where the blocks are and what needs to be worked on. And I definitely bring a gentle way of working onto things because we all have our hard times. There is no need if somebody's going to work on you, pushing you hard as well.
Yes, I agree. I don't like that because I'm a very sensitive person, and I also am very intellectual, so I already know a lot of my problems and I know things, but it just makes me so emotional and so triggered sometimes to work on these things and just pushing and like putting salt into the wound to like look at it. I'm just like, like like I'm being gagged and bound and like have to face it like my demons. And like that's not pleasant. That's not very untraumatic. That's just doing the opposite of just making me retract much more. I know some people are very head on and just like bungee jumping into their emotions. I can't.
No, I can't either. And I think that's one of the reasons we resonate with one people, like sort. I wouldn't say sort, one type of people, and then
Five people.
why, yeah, and then we don't resonate with others because I also follow certain people and then I take part in certain things. But I know that for me, it's important to appreciate my own pace because otherwise it's just gonna make me so tired to the point that I might burn out and have to restart the whole thing again. And we often forget that we need to be mindful about how we feel rather than trying to put it aside and think, oh, I'm going to deal with it later. And later might be too late.
Yeah. And it's also the noise. Always so many people have opinions and advice, and that's all fair, but we can only understand ourselves the best. Other people are not in our shoes. They might have the best intention, but what worked for them doesn't need necessarily to work for us. And so it's really important that I had to learn that the hard way a couple times that I can't just like I like to source people's opinions and experience, but I also need to be able to just sit myself aside and then discern what actually resonates with me, regardless of what feels maybe even logical or what is like, the best according to some experts or coaches or because at the end of the day, only you know where you are emotionally, what you can handle, what you really want to focus on. And yeah, you need to honor that. And I think that's really important, especially when you open up yourself to all of these coaches or, mental health therapists. I don't know, there's like so many different people who help other people with being stuck, right? There's so many ways you can tackle it, and you need to really know if the person you talk to is actually vibing, is actually good for you in this moment. That doesn't mean anything about the qualifications necessarily. It's just like you need to look for your fit, the same as you would for a therapist. Even that I had to learn. I thought like, oh, I just have to be happy to have anyone. Just I'm in Germany, so like that's always hard to get any place at all. But sometimes it can be even worse, really detrimental to be matched with someone who doesn't understand you, want to understand you, pushes their perspective onto you, or makes you go through things too soon. So it's a struggle because as you try to figure out yourself, you're just like, but I want to figure out myself. So how do I already know what to know? Right? It's just like, but that's what I need help with. So how do I know to make the decision? And I think that's where really the intuition comes in, or just knowing your body. And there's so many different ways to do that. Breathing, feeling in, like sitting still. Like, what do you say to that? Like, how do you find your inner connection to make a decision, even if it feels illogical at some point, but it feels right for you?
I always ask people to feel if it feels light or not.
Mm-hmm.
So
Like
if it
restricting or
feels light,
expensive.
yes, then it's the right decision. But if you have a bit of like, I think I'm go with it. It does feel good, but I'm not 100% sure. That's where, yeah, that's where probably you maybe should stop and be honest with yourself because we often not because we are driven by certain targets and we know how we want to get there, but we don't often listen, which is the best way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you want to make it easy or explainable. And for me, especially, I often find the best decisions that I make are from the outside impulsive and emotional. But for me, sometimes it just feels so intense where it's just like, yes, this is like a yes, this is like, oh, hell no. And then I can't even explain it. Sometimes with people, you feel like there's something off of the person, and next thing you know, they rob you. You're like, I should have listened. Right. Happens. Or, like you just feel like I can't explain this person across the room, like there's this connection and I just need to go for it. Like it could stand there and be like, oh, like that's weird. You don't do that. Like, whatever. Like you can explain anything and you can like explain anything out of situation and like excuse yourself. There's a ton of excuses. I'm really good at that. So I can also spot it well because I'm master of the excuses. But but I feel like intuition also feels different to everybody else. Like anybody has intuition. Like it's just like a survival instinct, but I think it's also different in the way it manifests, like as a sound, as a feeling, as like a color, or like actual like bodily physical sensation. Like you say, with feeling lighter and heavier is like a very good indicator when you just like sit still and then just watch your body, maybe even look it in the mirror. Like, how does it even look? Do you feel confident? Do you feel like you're shying away from the thing when you look at it?
Yeah.
But also sometimes I find it's difficult to suss out, is it fear or is it just like actually excitement, but I'm scared to do it, but I want to do it actually. It's not fear as of like, this is bad. Yeah, stay away. Like I think that is often the crux because the intuition is so much quieter than the fear or excitement.
Yes, but then, as you said, it's really well, the noise. Yeah. And the noise can come from different things that we have learned along the way in our life. And sometimes we can get caught up in these things and we think, okay, I've had this experience. I know what I'm going to do here. And even if you follow that, it's not going to work because the experience maybe was something difficult and hard. And when you are looking into that from this space, it might be that you are recreating another difficult and hard situation, you know?
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely. Especially if you haven't learned your lesson, you just like repeat that. You kind of want to suss it out, but you don't actually want to take the step because it still feels uncomfortable. So you recreate it, trying to affirm that no, I can go the safe route. I can do the predictable thing. And then you do it again and again until you're like, damn it, I just go like the difficult path, like the hard game mode, and you just do it, and you're like, actually, that wasn't too bad. It was just a scenario in my head that made it really bad, but now I feel better. It's just so weird because sometimes we just know, like, if we just got it over with, it would only take like 5 minutes instead of like 5 years of being anxious about it.
Yeah, yeah. But then again, it all depends why we are taking this route. Sometimes we subconsciously can create battles for ourselves. We sometimes testing ourselves without even realizing that. And somewhere deep inside our ego mind is saying to us, can you do that? You done this, can you do that? How about this? And it's all to do around beliefs that we have created maybe, or that maybe we were brought up with. And this is sitting in our subconscious mind that is ruling our life like 95% of all the decisions that we make. So sometimes it can be hard to come out of this familiar pattern, even if you know that this is probably not the outcome that you would want to have.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the first step is to like be aware of it. But I'm often stuck in like, yes, I'm aware, but I still feel triggered. I still repeat these patterns. And then maybe even in the moment or after the fact, but already when it is that emotion is when I recognize it and wish I had changed it and did it differently. So like it keeps repeating and repeating until maybe I'm like a slight moment more aware before I make the decision to change the outcome. You know, it is such a long
But then you need to ask yourself, need to ask yourself, what does it give you to go through this experience? If you know that this is not the way you would want things, to,
Yeah.
I don't know, end or happen, what are you getting from that?
Mm. Okay. Yeah, that's an interesting question. Sure. I mean, often it's just
Because it
like,
might be a way of motivation or stimulation, like, oh, or keep on going, that you feel that you're actually doing something.
oh yeah, the productivity, hustling,
Yeah.
grinding, just to feel like you're doing something, even if it's actually, just messing around.
Nothing. A noise. Yeah, another noise
Yeah.
that is being created. Yeah, just to keep us busy and our mind occupied.
Right. Or just a typical victim mentality of like, oh, everything always goes wrong. This is just another affirmation. So, like that's also a safety
So
blanket.
why
I
not
didn't try humbly. Yeah,
Why not to change it? Everything happens for me, not to me.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
I had to
or
work on that a lot.
I'm lucky. Yeah.
Yes. Oh my gosh. That was like my mantra. I'm like, oh my God, like I'm so unlucky. The chaos follows me everywhere. Even wrote a book with that in the title, like, oh, chaos. And, because so many things just like came like being very magnetic to me and in a negative way, attracting weird people, attracting negative situation, attracting like terrible luck. And I'm like, oh, it's just me, it's just my luck. But when you realize like, no, I can actually be like, I don't want to do this. I can plan better, or I can react different in the situation. I can set boundaries. I can like, there's a lot of mindset shift when you realize that so many things you just have these self-fulfilling prophecies with, like you can create and shape your life. And that feels, I think like that's the main problem. Like that feels like almost like victim blaming, or that feels like, oh well, so like it's all my fault. Like now I'm poor, it's all my fault. I'm always like an accident, all my fault. Like that just feels like suddenly you're responsible for things that before you could blame on other things, and now you're like, damn, like there's only so much you can control, but there's something you can control, and if you don't, then suddenly you're responsible. And I think that is a big thing that holds people back from being like more action oriented in like how they want to shape or like question their inner programming and beliefs. I think that's what it is. Like for me, it was like part of my identity. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm always unlucky, but I have the best stories, haha. And then suddenly when I
created it to have a best stories, right?
I'm not necessarily, I tried to spin it and then I realized, oh yeah, people like it. So well, but then ultimately I'm like, but I don't like it. So I'd rather not have the stories and then be boring. But I'm not boring. So like nothing changed other than that I don't attract all that chaos anymore. When it happens, I already have like something figured out so it doesn't spiral. So
Yeah.
it's like, no, let's stop it in its tracks. We're not going further. Like, nah.
Yeah. The beauty of it is that when you're saying something to yourself or to the situation, it's you are requesting the same from the universe, I like it. Yeah. Okay, there you go, more.
I know. It's like
To the
where your
moment when
energy
you start-
focuses.
Yes. To the moment when you start changing it to saying, I'm so lucky. Like, oh my God, I can do it so well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The lucky girl syndrome, put it on.
Yes.
Because it's just
It's
really
lucky. It is, but it's true that whatever you're putting out there, this is what you're getting. This is what comes your way.
Yeah. Yeah.
And sometimes, of course, it's hard for us to receive. Yeah. When we receive all the time, all the crap. Yeah. And then we're going to say, okay, that's enough. I'm lucky. I want it all. Like, I'm the best. I can do whatever I want. I'm open to receive. And then when it comes your way, you start to be like, I don't know if I want it.
Yeah, it feels uncomfortable. Is there a catch?
Yes. And the reason for that is because we are not used to it sometimes. If all our life we've been believing something completely different. Now when good thing is approaching us, we're like, as you said, is there a catch?
Yeah. Is the shoe gonna drop? Like what's gonna come?
Yeah.
What's it?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I had that like yesterday. Like I have a lot of like money blocks I'm working on. Just like receiving, is really a thing that I notice in so many different ways. Like now I've like trained myself to endure compliments, and now I like compliments, and sometimes I like double down on them. where like people are like, oh yeah, you look so pretty in that, or like makeup, whatever. And I know I spend time and like effort on doing it. So I would be like, yes, I am. Yes, I'm
Yeah.
pretty. Yes. And then people are just like, wait, what? Like, that's not the normal reaction. Someone's like, oh yeah, you did really great. I'm like, yes, I'm awesome. And then people are like,
Uh,
wow. So
I agree with you.
negative about it. Yeah, I'm just like, oh yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's true. But I can't. I often cannot extend that to other areas. Like with business, I always tend to over deliver and still don't feel good enough. Or even yesterday, like I occasionally tutor a student in English, and then she showed up and she wanted me to do one of the tests online, but the link was broken, and so she couldn't figure it out. And she, after 20 minutes, she was like, "I gotta leave. Like, can we reschedule?" I was like, "Sure, yeah, no problem." She's like, "So what do I owe you?" Like, we didn't do anything. She's like, "Yeah, but I wasted your time." So like I still put it, I was still in the schedule. Like, what do I owe you? And I looked at him like, I was like, like in my mind, I was like, oh my god, you can't take money from a child. She's not a child, but like, oh my god, you can't just take the money. You didn't do anything. But at the same time, you need to work on receiving things. And so I was like, if I've quit, and it hurt me so much to like ask for money for my time, even though like I didn't actually work, but I still, blocked out the time. I still was there trying to help, whatever. So like it made sense, but noticed in that moment, like, oh my gosh, like there's a blog. Look at it, look at it. And I'm like, you received money, even if it's like a little bit, but it was more symbolic. I'm like, okay, they respect my time, which I often am also not used to. Like the past couple of weeks, I try to do a lot of collaborations with like models on stuff to extend my photography portfolio. So it's like unpaid, everybody gets photos. And I have a lot of work actually. And most of that, like 70% for the first time, they just stood me up and was like, how dare you? Like unprofessional. But it was like, oh my gosh, did I do it wrong? Like, did my ADHD mess up? Why did I not show up? Should I have done this or should I have done that? Like, I can only send so many reminder emails and it shouldn't be my responsibility. So, like, okay, I need to work on the boundaries. I need to select people better. I need to do a screening. Or like, I just say, okay, if you send me up, then I'm not going to give you a second chance. Like, it's just all of this work in progress where I'm like, oh, I get to decide what I can tolerate, what I want to tolerate, and how I value myself in the first place. I'm like, oh, if I keep giving people chances, actually that's not good for me. Then what does it even tell them? Like, all the self-reflective process.
Yeah. Yeah. And when you say that you're not good enough, because you repeat it quite often, yeah, I think it's gonna be useful.
Yeah, you got me there.
It's gonna be useful for you probably to see where it's coming from, and I'm sure you know where it's coming from, yeah, because someone told you that once or twice or many times.
Yeah, my neurospicy people can relate, I'm sure.
And you still operate with this program that I'm not good enough. But if you reflect on everything that you have achieved to this point, to this person that you are, and you just can ask yourself, is it true? Like, is it really true?
But logically knowing it is different than just having this program on, even if I am conscious of it, sometimes it still makes me uncomfortable. Or even, even if I like talk about it in therapy and I did hypnotherapy on it, but it still comes up in different variations because it's still not completely there. And even if I put on a lucky girl syndrome, I'm like, oh, what would a white, like cis white man with mediocre talent, but like the audacity do? Like, even if I did all of that, like just mental gymnastics, like just like there's so many people who do like mediocre work and get paid with the same thing that I do, but I can, I'm just like, so why am I here being in self-doubt when I see people just putting it out there, starting it, doing messy action, or like being fine, not like actually progressing in their job, but they still get the job. And then I'm being like self-critical. I'm like, oh, should they deserve it? Should I deserve it? Like, no, like that's a different conversation. That's a them thing. Let's focus on me. I can just put myself out there. Like, there's always people who need your service at your level. And a lot of people might want to take advantage of it. A lot of people might not actually get the value. And it's just really in the sorting out and standing up for yourself almost to be like, this is what I set the terms at, this is my price, take it or leave it. And then they will communicate how they perceive that. And then it's not like, oh yeah, you're right, like I should reduce the price. Like that's just like, no, like if you don't like it, you can go. Like nobody makes you. Right. So like it's this, again, I guess self-value and at the core of it, where I'm like, no, I just said this is the terms, so like work with me and this is what it is, and like you can go play, and then even if I feel uncomfortable, I need to stand my ground, like that.
Yes, and you actually staying true to yourself. It's not only like you have to stand for yourself. Yes, that's true. But you staying true to yourself that this is what it's like, and I will not agree for anything less.
Yeah.
So you're honoring yourself that process rather than trying to fit everyone's frame.
Exactly.
None of us fits everyone's frame.
No.
We can't help everyone, work with everybody. Because we don't resonate on different levels.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. And it is both liberating and also a little constricting, because then, okay, I don't want to work with everybody. I don't actually have to like everybody, and I can say no to a lot of people when it's not the right match right now, right then. But yeah, like what I find when I make allowances and again, like backtrack and be like, oh yeah, just make an exception. I usually regret it. It's usually like there was
that again, right?
Just like, nah. Like, oh, self-doubt got me again. And then usually you get all the red flags, which, you ignore, and you're like, oh yeah, they come at you real fast now. Or you get this resentment where they might appreciate what you've done and maybe even the price, because they realize you've been underselling. And it's like, I'm talking like very specifically about myself, I guess. And then I feel like this resentment, which, it's not even their fault, because that's what I gave them as an option. And I should have been clear with myself up front and like, I don't actually like this option. Even if I wanted to work with them, I still needed to be honoring myself, my needs, what I desire. Like even now I noticed with these collaborations with the models, for instance, I noticed that a lot of times they really like my work. Oh, because it's good. But
it's awesome. I loved it.
Like online, they're just like, oh yes, it's awesome, thank you. And so some of them give me a testimonial when I keep reminding them, and then they like use more words, and I'm like, oh, they actually liked it. If somebody says, oh yeah, it's nice, thank you, and just normal writing, no smiley, no point punctuation, you're like, what does that mean? It could mean anything. Right? And so like I love this testimonials. Not everybody does that. And so now I started actually asking people for like a reveal call where I can go and jump on a call with them. I'm like, I want to show you the photos. I'm not going to send them to you right now. I want to see your reaction as I show them to you the first time. And that's also validating. We're like, oh, this is actually what I've been needing. And not everybody wants to do that. So if I just communicate that up front, be like, hey, I want the reveal call. Is that a thing that you are comfortable with? If not, then we just can't work together, because I need that validation. I just need you, okay? But, if I know that, and then people can be like, oh, no, I don't like that. And I'm like, okay, cool. It just, then it's not working out right now.
And you don't have to waste your time then.
Exactly.
Like done and dusted and ready to chase
Exactly, because that also feels icky when I'm like, have to remind people, like, well, you're great. You're like, give me a testimonial. And they're like, oh, I don't have time. And then you push it back, and then you don't even remember anything.
Yeah.
So what you going to testimonial about? Like, it was nice. Wow. Same. Same as in the writing, only with like a live motion on something. But yeah, just figuring it out and being like just true to yourself. I think for me especially is like one of the hardest steps, because I often be like, oh yeah, let's figure it out. Let's see how it goes. And then I realize I'm like, no, I actually knew exactly what I wanted. I knew exactly how I wanted it to be. But because I guess I received all the conditioning of like, you're too bossy, little kids stuff, like little girls, too bossy, you're dictatorial. You're like, you just want to like say how things go.
Now I'm just professional, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's my business, so I get to do that. I get to be the boss, because I am the boss. And again, like if it's upfront and you can say yes or no, like sign a contract, yes or no, like
Yeah.
It's just clear communication is also just respect, and but it still triggers me a lot, I find.
How about
It
if
just
you will start manifesting those clients that can write you beautiful, open-hearted testimonials?
yeah, that's true. Just like, yeah.
So instead of pouring your attention into those whose testimonials you don't like, and probably, I don't know, there might be some other reasons behind it, yeah, why they give it the way they do,
Mm-hmm.
you can start manifesting these beautiful, amazing clients with who you just click. And then these
Yeah.
testimonials they give you just wow, out of this world, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be nice. Yeah, I guess it's the focal point, because then usually if that is the end result, then also these steps beforehand would have been good, right? Because
Yeah.
I need, especially as a creative, I need some kind of rapport, I need some kind of easy vibe feeling that I can work with people, that fuels my intuitive like creativity, because then that's when I get all of these instant downloads like, oh my gosh, let's try this thing, let's do the pose, let's do that, let's rearrange the thing. Like at one of the shoots I wanted to do more like of a queen vibe, and then like as we
Oh,
were
I like that.
doing the just my current thing, like I just want all the women to feel beautiful, and photography can do that, and did it for me with my confidence. And then I'm like, what if I can like show them exactly not how the camera sees them, but like how I see them on top of it, which is how I develop my collages, where I like put them in a crown and a gown and put the scepter there and like a floral background. So like to really bring that out of people.
Oh, I like
And
that.
some models were like, this is amazing. Others were like, oh yeah, it's just a job. I'm like, so I'm like,
You can go, yeah.
yeah, I'm just like, go find a different job that works better for you, because it's not even
Find a different photographer.
yeah, exactly. There's so many out there. Some didn't even read the description. They're like, so why am I here? I'm like, how would I know? You applied. Like I put it out there, you applied. Oh my gosh. And
Smile, yeah, it takes your shoes.
one of them even refused to smile. She's like, I don't smile. I'm like,
There were
Tell
some
me now.
points probably as well. Nobody know.
yeah, but that wasn't the concept. So I'm like, "Oh, girl, like communication would have been great. And one of them was like putting on the outfit, and I was like, stop a minute, we want to make you a pirate bride. Like we want to make you a queen of pirates. Just like I love it. Just like in the moment, because it was just so easygoing and so
Yeah.
natural, like the vibe. So like I love that co-creating where you're not just the onus is on me, but all of the concept, all of the direction. And that's usually on the photographer. But if the model is like on the same wavelength, and it's just like, oh, I have these things that will work the concept, and you're like, actually, yes. Because sometimes they offer you stuff and you're like, not at all. Like that's not it.
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's also, getting to know people. So
So why don't you manifest more of these type of clients like this pirate guide?
yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's just,
And you're an incredible manifester if to consider through how many
yes, that's my human design.
battles, I don't know how to put it there gently.
Yeah.
Battles you went through, yeah? So you definitely
Yes.
can manifest just to change
Yeah.
the focus.
Yeah, you're right. I need to write that down. Manifest pirate pride people.
Yeah, manifest the same type of your clients. Like,
Yeah, because I already have like an experience and a feeling I can jump off of. Because sometimes you want to manifest things and you're like, I have a notion, but I still haven't experienced it quite yet. Because for me, I have like, for instance, for different countries, I have a specific feeling for different countries. I can't even explain it. As soon as I try to, like, it's gone. Or like specific feeling for different types of people. Not just like, oh, I feel happy with them. Like, no, but just like a flavor of emotion, like a different color almost, like it tastes like something almost. And it's so specific to very specific coalescent combinations or of like, just, I don't know how to explain it. It's so specific to like, oh God, in this moment, I really liked how everything felt so abundant, but free and creative, but like in a way that felt also bring me money, or like in a different way that attracted more people into the circle, or just like, or me being a hermit, but being totally fine with being alone, like in a different independent way. Like there's so many different variations, that it's not just like a feeling, but it's like a whole flavor of experience in like different even areas of my body combined with the like sensory issues. Like everybody, like I said, has different manifestations of how intuition comes in. And
Why do you call it issues?
huh?
Why do you call it issues? You said sensory issues.
No, did I say that?
Yeah.
Sensory. Oh, okay. No, I didn't mean issues. Sensory, I don't know. Impulses, something like that. Like it's just like sometimes it reminds me of something. I'm like, oh my gosh, this feels like exactly this one situation on that day in that place with that exact person. Only that, not just generally. Yeah, like I feel happy. Like no, this specific version. I'm like, this is like the same situation. So like, I can draw from experience. I'm like, okay, now it's about this task or whatever. But sometimes I don't have that yet. But I'm like, I want this thing. Very vague thing. This very vague notion, and I haven't had it. So how does that feel like?
It's because you don't believe in it.
Oh,
What
okay.
if you would imagine all the feelings that you want to feel and you live them through in your body first, in your imagination first. So you are
But that's what I
prepared for
mean.
it.
Sometimes I don't quite know how it feels because I only have the vague notion of generally I feel kind of want to happy or
And
freedom.
that's when you trust yourself, right? That's when
Oh,
you
that's when you
trust
just go
your
down and be
inner
like,
guidance.
whatever it is. Oh, when I'm getting out of my head and being like, I start with the general happiness and see where it develops into. Like that.
And what does happiness means for you, if we're talking about general happiness?
It depends on what field. That's what I mean. Like, is it?
I like mint chocolate chip ice cream.
Oh,
And it's one of the ways of happiness for me, So
I don't know.
happiness can feel differently. And there are so
Yes,
many faces of
exactly.
it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like general, it's just like which direction is it? Like food? Is it people?
And
Is it
imagine if
emotion?
what you want in your life just so delicious as like a mint chocolate chip ice cream.
Mhm. Nice. I feel like that would be a cool meditation exercise. When they do like the golden light, you're surrounded by golden light. Like not
Yeah.
surrounded by mint chocolate chip, like in the smell.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna eat my fingers or whatever.
Yeah.
Like not in a different way.
Yeah. So, just play with it because you have the feelings, you have the senses. It's just about trusting it more.
Yeah.
And not to, you see, we tend to label things a lot. And when you come out of the labeling and we just want to experience something ourselves without having to go through someone else's stuff, and we let go of all the past experience that we don't like, and we just dive into this new feeling, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Just dissolve.
This feels like a therapy session. Wayne. This is amazing.
It might be one. We exchange energies, you see?
I know. Like I feel like you're calming energy on. Like I'm just like, do you feel calmer because you were so nervous at the start? But you're doing great.
I'm doing great. Yeah, I know I was nervous because I never did
I know.
podcast.
It's your very
I
first
said it
one.
today.
Smashing.
Yeah, I said it wrong today. Instead of podcast, I said postcat.
Thank you.
Postcat.
Postcat. That's cute. I feel like that should be a thing. That should be a meme. I would like to be on more postcats. Whatever that means, I don't know. It kind of might be sounding weird also. Postcat. I love it. Just like a microphone with like cat ears.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love it. I love cats. Yeah. Sometimes I manifest cats. I love that. Because I don't have cats. I always wanted to have cats, but when I travel too much, it would be unfair. So sometimes I go out on the street and I'm like, I'm going to meet a copy cat. I'm going to have a little petting session. And just like a cat shows up, I'm like, yes. And I'm just going to like pet the street cat for a bit and then I'm just being happy.
You know
the distribution system works.
Yeah, in Estonia, in Tallinn, where I'm from, there is a cafe and they have cats that live in this cafe. So people actually can go there and pet them. But there are good caterers, no? Do you have any good caterers? So when you're away, your cat can stay in this cat hotel?
Probably. Yeah, but not yet. I don't have a cat yet. So it's on my list for when I have a better place. Because right now I also have like a ton of plants and they're all toxic for cats. Like I would have to cat proof everything. Like even the other, like last month, I found this kitten on the stairs. And I was like, oh my gosh, you're absolutely more amazing. I want to like adopt you right away. It's like a white kitten with like the bluest eyes and super cute. And everybody was like, who is this? And like she was like handed from one person to the next and nobody knew. And just when I decided, like, I'm gonna take her in, I can't keep her overnight outside on the stairs. Like, she was gone. I was like, damn it, damn it, damn it. And I spent the next 2 days like searching the entire area. I was just like, maybe she's there, maybe like she's in trouble. And I felt so guilty. And then I found like somehow somebody found my post and reached out and they were like, I know the owner, she's been looking, and the cat managed to cross like the super busy street to into the next district of the city. So the owner hadn't even looked there. And because I posted it, she eventually found the cat. But I was like, I just love cats. I just wanted to like have the cat. And was like, oh, should I have taken her in? I feel so bad. Like cats are just awesome, awesome.
Maybe it was just a sign for you. Yeah.
Maybe I believe that one day when I'm like ready to have a cat, and ideally would be a cat who might be even able to travel with me. Because like I know that is possible. Like ideally I just would like to have the cat find me. Like, you know, the cat distribution system does. Like sometimes they just are there and they just adopt you and you're suddenly down and you're like, okay, I guess like I'm now a slave to this cat and I'm very happy about it.
Yeah. Oh, cats are beautiful.
I love them.
We have a cat.
I even made cat videos. Like it started when I was like in Athens and I did a travel vlog and I was like, I can't retain any of the key historic information. I was always bad at that in school. Like, and also who am I? Like there's so many people doing that better than me and with actual interest in the history and the facts. And I'm just like here looking at pretty historic ruins and like like I was more interested in the botany, and then the cats showed up and there was cats everywhere. I was like, you know, I'm gonna make a video about the cats. And that did. And then I went to Malta and there were just as many cats. I made a video about cats and I even made a song to honor the cats. And so like it's my thing.
Oh, wow.
I make cat trouble videos sometimes. Yeah.
Oh, this is amazing. I didn't know you created a song. Well done.
Thank you. It's so a stupid song.
No, but
no, it's like
no.
I love that it's stupid. No, it's a silly song, but I was just like cats. I don't even know what it's just like. I just said, what did I even say? There was no text to it. It was just like a cat, meow 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 meow, something like that. It was just me like singing as a cat or whatever, and but I was like, it made me happy. It's just so stupid that it makes me happy. So yeah.
I just wanted to say that your creativity is very limitless. I don't know if you noticed that.
No, I know. I just don't know how to monetize it properly. Because I was just like, it's always coming in. And I'm like, oh, next shiny project. And then I do the project. And I'm like, so what now? No, what?
Like, now to wait. Now to wait. Yeah. To generate the next one.
I know, but like, that doesn't feed me. It's the thing.
Well, that's the belief. You can change
starving artist belief.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, maybe it is a starving artist belief. How about the abundant artist belief?
Yeah.
What does it look like to be an abundant artist?
Haven't been there. How do I know?
Exactly. Do your homework, research. Create the feeling there.
Yeah, no, it's true. Because I haven't read the book yet, but I downloaded a sample on Amazon. There's this book called Real Artists Don't Starve. And I was like, that's a call out. Okay. So I downloaded it for free because like I'm cheap. And even like the first chapter that was available, it was just like straight on, like all of the reasons why you've been telling yourself you have to suffer as an artist. And then the opposite of like what that would be. Like, you know, I have to create a community and like convince people to like be a patron or whatever. And then the opposite is like, I just go where the community already is. And then I was like, damn, that's a slap in the face. Because for the past 2 years, I've been telling people like, oh my gosh, I moved to this town and like I've been trying to find creatives and entrepreneurs and I couldn't. And I'm like, I find it so hard to build that. And people are like, why don't you stay? Why don't you stay? I'm like, I have no answer. I'm like, go to Berlin, go to some place else where they actually have people who create and who co-create and actually get paid. And I'm like, I was like, no, I can't possibly, but I have no reason. I can't even tell you why. So I felt very called out by this book. So I guess I have to read it now.
Yeah, someone even gave you a hint, where you could go.
Yeah.
It's all to do with why it has created fear. And maybe to look into that fear. Why it was like, oh no, I couldn't possibly go.
Right. I always say it's my plants' fault. The plants, they're just rooted here now. Like, what would they do without me? That's my excuse. And people are like,
you can gift your plants if you're gonna live
right
forever.
Right.
Or not forever. You can buy a plant
and just give them to my parents, and then they have to babysit them. Like,
exactly.
There is not even a for you. I know it. I know the solutions, but that's the thing. I'm like, what is actually the reason?
Take one beyond you.
Yeah, I'm the one who travels with her little plants. You know, like we have a mascot, and I put a little Lego figure everywhere. Like, it's me and my puffins, and I'm just like traveling around the world. Yeah, that's not allowed. Like, I would never go through customs. They would that is actually illegal. So like that's the first thing. I could do that in the EU on the ground. So, but yeah, people don't travel with plants. Don't take up seats and stuff abroad. Like, that's not what this is about. Okay, disclaimer.
Okay,
don't say that.
Okay, we then just leave them to parents to look after.
Yes, or friends. Friends who don't have friends. Because that happened to me too. Like, oh yeah, my cat never touches plants. And I gave it to them and it's like destroyed. I'm like, I love cats, but this is disrespectful. Like, I told you to keep it away. Because cat, and this is, we know that.
Yeah.
Okay, it's really turned into a cat podcast. What did you say? Cats? Cats? Podcast?
Cat. Podcast. Podcast.
Podcast?
Podcast.
We don't even know anymore. It's all the pots, all the cats. Oh my gosh. I love this. So you're a cat person too, I take it?
Yes, we have one cat. We used to have two, but unfortunately, our other cat, who is so intelligent, like she was beautiful, she died because there was a pollen from lilies that she licked. And I didn't know that lilies are poisonous for cats. Oh. And we didn't know that that's what happened to her. We thought that maybe she just got sick. And when we took her to vet, it was too late.
Oh.
Yeah. But she was very clever cat.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's just always hurtful when, they're like family members.
Yeah, they are. Especially when they have a nice character.
Yeah, and have a very distinct personality, and they don't just like sleep all day, which I guess is also personality.
I remember we stayed at friends in America, and they had two rescue cats, and one of them was toothless, and the other one just would hiss at you all the time. Every time she would see you. So I was so scared to sleep at night because the hissing cat, and it was black, and like her hair was like this. She would sit at the bottom of the bed and just watch you and hiss at you. And the other one would come and try to cuddle with you. And then I remember my hand just went into her mouth because there were no teeth.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
That was an interesting night for me.
Unfair. Yeah. No, I can't sleep with cats because I'm allergic to all of them. So like, that's a shame. So every time I say, oh, we're friends who have pets, I get super excited, but I'm like, don't let them into my room. I will wake up with like the biggest eyes, leaching everywhere. So like stay away from the animals. It's not even hygienic, like when cats go on your bed and stuff. Like
Yeah.
you've already been like acclimatized to that. But yeah, I'm very allergic, which is so sad.
No, I agree. I don't like sleeping with pets. I do love them, but
Yeah.
that is my bed.
Yeah. And like they have different germs and stuff than humans. So like it's just, and like they go gross places, especially if you walk your dog. Like they don't wear shoes. It's like putting
Yeah.
your suitcase on the bed, which also a lot of people do, which I do not understand. You stood in a public restroom. My God. Okay.
And then we don't know where it's been, yeah? Or it's been rolling the suitcase. Yeah.
You don't know if it was a puddle or something else.
Or someone touched it with the dirty hands.
Yeah, that's not even the worst thing. Like what? Oh my gosh, let's not get into germs. I could talk about germs all the time. I used to be such a germaphobe, like so scared. Like I would get hives looking at like I don't know a gross little carpet with like cutting and stuff, clipping like nails and hair. Where I would be like breaking out of like hyperventilating. Oh my God, it's dirty! And like it scarred my eyeballs. People were like, "Wait, you're traveling the world. You're sleeping in hostels now. You, that person who like had panic attacks and looked at the dirty glass with a fingerprint on it." I'm like, yes. Well, I can dissociate very nicely now. Not the best coping mechanism,
We all have our own.
right? Yeah. Oh man, that took a turn.
Always does, isn't it? It gets more interesting every time.
I love it. Yeah, that's what I love about this podcast. You never know what rabbit holes or cat pod holes will go.
Yeah,
we'll go down in. The cat pod.
Podcast.
Podcast episodes. Yes, I should do like special episodes where like I randomly bring up cats and then it's a special cat pod episode.
Actually, I brought it this time, no? Podcast.
Yeah. Yes, yeah, you coined it. You are the inventor
of it, yes.
I wonder if there's a podcast out there that's called Cat Pots or something like that. We did not want to infringe on your trademark. We just wanted to play around. Disclaimer, people. You never know with the internet.
Maybe we should claim it first.
Where's the trademark? Where's the office? Let's
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Oh. Anything else you want to bring up? I don't know how to segue back from the cats and the dirt.
Oh, the dirt.
The dirt.
Let's narrow
it down my fear of dirt.
Once I was watching, what was it? Or was I attending the event? And the person put two glasses, no, not two glasses, just one glass, and put some earth in the glass, and just started poured the water, and stirred it, and saying, "This is how you can be, yeah, your life can be. But when you pour good things, eventually there won't be no dirt left."
Oh, because it flooded out. I thought because you drank it. I'm like, oh my God.
Oh no, thank you.
I was like, like, oh no, I just got to take it.
I love water, but not with dirt or mud in it or anything else.
Right, it's like kindergarten level. Like there was this little kid who wanted to impress me by eating all of the dirt. And I was like, it's the least impressive thing you could possibly do. I'm super appalled. But, for some kids, I don't know if it worked for other kids. But yeah, I thought it was like that in an adult version. I'm like, look at me.
Well, I'm sure there are these things in adult version.
Oh, I'm sure. Yes. Let's not call people out, but like, yes. I mean, I love the earth and grass and plants and like, but I don't want to drink the earth. Thank you. I'd rather just touch it. Okay.
We can drink what earth produces, which is water. Yeah.
Exactly. Or eat the plants. Yeah, not the dirt thing. Is there even would there even be any health benefit to eating earth? Like now I'm like curious. What if I ate dirt? Would I get minerals or do I need it in different forms? Because the plants already filter it and so I can eat the plant. 'Cause I don't want to eat dirt. I wonder if there's like some people out there who, preach about that. Like, eat more. I know there's people like, yeah, kids should eat dirt because like it's tough.
No, I've heard that the pregnant women crave sometimes that, and they might even eat it. Yeah.
Earth, soil.
Yeah.
Never heard of that. I heard gherkins and like stuff like pickles and stuff. But
Yeah. And crayons.
brilliant. I just want to bite in them because they look nice. Like I know it. Oh, so I'm doing it. Maybe I've done it as a kid and already know. Like when you get those little salt, I don't know, toys. I don't know what they're called. Salzgebäck. What is that in English? It's like dough that is like heated, so it's like solid, but it's like a licking stone. And so like all the kids would be licking on it. And I was like, oh no, everybody's tongue touched this. Like I was always like a germaphobe. Like guess where I got it from? My parents.
We can say thank you to them and leave it with them.
Yeah. I can touch the dirt now. I saw it. Well, that's now. I strengthened myself.
Oh, well done.
Thank you. It was a long procedure. It was something wild. Oh my god. Yeah. Again, that took a
Something wild that doesn't even surprise me.
with me. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, the things I've seen in hostels, I don't even get me started, especially when it comes to the bed bugs. Oh my god.
Sweet.
Dramatic. Yes. Always, this is a public announcement. Please always check your hostel and hotel room beds for bed bugs every single time. Thank you very much. Even wrote a guide about it. There's no excuse. Because it's not about hygiene. But it's the grossest thing possible. Anyway, well, okay.
Where else? What other turn are we going to take?
What other turn? Oh, I don't know. What's the last movie you saw?
What was the last movie I saw? I don't remember.
Oh.
There was one movie. We watched it recently. I think it was on BBC Two. I don't remember the name of it, but it was about young man who got in trouble because he was high and he did beat up another guy pretty badly. So he was on probation. And the guy who was taking them to probation was quite keen on him. So he invited him to whiskey tasting. And apparently this young man had a very good nose. And at this whiskey tasting, it was revealed that there is going to be an auction of the best whiskey ever. And he created a plan where he decided that him and the other 3 friends from this probation they're gonna go with him to this place. They're going to present themselves as they from some sort of committee or whatever. So basically he managed to get 4 bottles of whiskey from this barrel, and the barrel was sold for 1.1 million pounds. And then
did they steal it, or did they just know it would be good and so bought it up front?
No, he couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
Yet he didn't have money, but he created a great plan. And then there was a collector of whiskeys there who was also bidding, but he lost the bid because his client didn't want to pay on this money. And the night before, he was there with the person that opened started this event, telling them about whiskeys and stuff. And he came there saying, listen, I only need 3 bottles for my client, 1 to enjoy, 1 to sell, and 1 for something else. So the person didn't go for it, but the guy that stayed there and stoned whiskey, he overheard this conversation. So once he had these bottles, he went to this guy and said, I've heard you are looking for a whiskey, 1 to keep, 1 to sell. and want to enjoy with your friends or something like that. And he was like, oh, don't tell me. So he poured a little into his glass and they made a deal. But on the way back, 2 bottles got broken because police started checking on them, and one of the guys got angry, and then they slammed the bottle, like he slammed the bottle on the other bottle, and the bottles got broken. So he managed to sell 1 bottle, but for example, 3 bottles, they were 200,000, but he sold one for 100,000 because now they were even more rare.
Yeah.
And the other bottle he gifted to this guy from probation who was looking after them as a gift. Because thanks to him, he came out to this marvelous idea to sort out his life.
Isn't that crazy? Like some things, I mean, like I see these movies, and the more I like live life when they're older again, stuff like the more you sometimes see that it's not always this far-fetched. Sometimes things just can happen in like a blink of an eye. You meet the right person and you're on a different track, and suddenly everything is fast-paced, and you're suddenly like surrounded by abundance and things you were only trying to manifest, but something shifted to get you on a different mindset, a different track. And then it's just little things that break the dam.
Yeah, and this guy, he had a newborn baby and a girlfriend. So he did want to create change in his life. He just didn't know how. And the bottle he sold to this collector, he had agreement with this guy as well, saying that I'm going to sell you the bottle, but I also need a job. I want to change my life. So he managed to get out of this vicious circle that his life was at the time.
Okay, for a second I thought it would be like a drama with all of the bottles gone.
No. It was a good movie. I
Okay.
really enjoyed it.
It sounds like a French movie, I feel like.
It was British.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Of the whiskey, I guess I should have known.
I can ask my husband the name of this movie, and then I'll message it to you.
Sure. You can put it down into the description.
Yes. If anyone is interested.
Interested in whiskeys and uplifting stories with good endings, and that's it. Also, anybody who's listening, feel free to tell us what your last movie was, because I always look for cool new movies to watch. Yeah, mine was Indiana Jones in the movies, the number 5, and I liked it. Yes, so the final Indiana Jones.
A nice one.
Yeah,
I love
one was terrible, but this one was good.
Yeah. Indiana Jones reminds me of my childhood.
Yes, exactly. I grew up watching that like every year. I just love that cockiness. Like, it belongs to a museum, but then he just destroys everything. You're like,
yeah, I always wondered why.
It's like those superhero movies where like, we're saving New York City, and then it's obliterated. You're like, at what cost? Anyway, don't think too much about it.
Yeah, we're not manifesting that.
No, we just want to have the audacity of Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we had a lot
adventures,
but safely. Safely, not being chased by
pleasant ones.
Yeah, just being surprised in the best way by manifestation happening in a good way.
Yeah, you see?
I wonder if that would make a good movie or be boring. I wonder. Just like the one good thing after another. We're not used to that. Isn't that just also fun when you watch a series and like it has a happy ending, and then you're like, I'm done. Like,
but then you can always spice up things. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what writers always do. There's always no drama. But like, what if we had a movie with no drama? Would people actually enjoy that? And it's like, oh, another cool thing. I didn't see that twist coming. It's even better now. You're just like, good twist. Would that be a thing? I wonder.
Yeah.
Would that suddenly be like unrealistic, or no? It's just like
utopia. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like now the task is to do that in your head, just like manifest the utopia you want. Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. Any other
Feel it.
steps we forget that you want to give people like to point out before we wrap this up? Like anything we forgot?
I don't know. I think it's always, we do forget because we lose ourselves in people pleasing, in
Mhm.
overdoing. And I think it's always important to ask yourself, what do I really want? And to be
Yeah.
honest, just to stay true to yourself and honor your own feelings and emotions because nobody else will. At the end of the
Yeah.
day, I have me.
Exactly. And just even do that like every day, like a check in, like how am I feeling? Why am I doing this? What's the priority? Which I've been trying to incorporate more and more of, but it still feels a little bit foreign. But ultimately, yeah, you only know what's best for you. Even if you make mistakes, you can course correct, and you shouldn't put it on other people to read your mind or like to save you. You know, we
But then
could go on and
again,
on about that partnerships,
it,
relationships, friendships, but
yeah,
communicating that. So yeah, at the end of the day, you have to be responsible for yourself. And yes, communicate it to other people what you want, what you wish. But like talking about relationships and all of that is an entirely different beast, which we're not covering right now. Ooh.
yeah, relationship is totally different piece. I love talking about all these things, all the
So
human feelings and emotions and where they are taking us and why we have them and what to do with them.
mhm.
Like, I love it.
Me too. I find psychology so fascinating.
Mm.
Yeah.
This
Good job.
inner work is beautiful, especially when you manage to crack something for yourself and you think, what?
Right?
No way.
Yeah. I did something different this time. Look at it. And then you have to
Yeah.
cheer yourself on because like nobody gets that illumination and little epiphany, you can't just transfer it onto other people. So you have to be there like, yes, I did so well. Or sometimes I even like clap my shoulder, like, yes, I did good. Just,
Yeah.
to
Well, of course, it's
positive
always good
reinforcement.
to have a like-minded people, yeah, that
Oh,
can
yes.
support you as well. But at the end of the day, I do think it's important just to stand for, like, say it for yourself, but to stand, to be true to yourself, and just
Yeah.
to acknowledge. And as you said, mistakes. I don't think there are mistakes. We always learn something. It's not a
Yes.
mistake, it's an experience. I tried something, it didn't work. I don't want to do it again.
Yeah. Like, something you didn't before, or you just have clarification on something you've thought, even, whatever. It's okay to do things because, like, also, like, what's the definition of success and failure? Because, like, so many, especially entrepreneurs, only learn or optimize or get to where they are not overnight, the classic overnight success. No, it's because they fell on their faces all the time and then they found something that actually worked because they optimized things. But if you also only hit things and be like, yeah, this works perfectly, then you don't see the glitches coming suddenly, because there's always
Yeah.
something to tweak and optimize. And if you're like willing to be um kind with it and with yourself when things don't work out, be like, no, I just learned something. It didn't work out, whatever. No
Sometimes
judge.
when they don't work out, it's for the best.
That as well. Like
Or
oftentimes I find myself pushing
yeah.
for things and then they were not meant to me for me, or the timing was off, or I didn't see what's behind that door and really didn't want to open the door, but I didn't know that
Yeah.
because I'm stubborn. Like sometimes that's also where the intuition comes in. We're like, nope, don't do it. And you're like, that sounds like a valid option. And it's
Yeah.
like your gut's like,
Yeah.
I tell you not to do it. I can't tell you why, but you'll find out. Maybe you shouldn't. It's save you the trouble. So yeah, guess it then circles back to your gut feeling and just sitting with yourself and then being also kind when you'd ignored the gut feeling and you went for it and you learned your lesson. Hopefully.
And I think it's also important to remember that every single of us is different. There is no two same people on the whole earth. I was reading somewhere that for people to have a similar DNA, it needs to be over 300 billion people on earth. So every single of us is unique in our own way.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And just to honor it.
Yeah. Like how amazing is that if you think about it? Like just like the miracle that you are here, that the combination worked, like sperm and egg and stuff.
Yeah.
You actually made it. You didn't like die. Like there's so many ups, like so many ways. Like we're still living. Like every day you could have been hit by a car. You didn't. You're still here listening to a podcast while going. Right? You're like didn't starve. You're like there's so many ways. Like that Melbourne Metro song, like 100 Ways to Die. Like that's you made it. You didn't do that. You didn't do any of that stuff. You know that song? I love that song. I showed it to my parents the other day. They were like, "What are you showing us?" I'm like, "That's like watch for the end. Like it's an important announcement." And like you weird. I'm like, as if you didn't know that. Like I'm insulted. No, yeah, sense of humor, but wait for it. Anyway, so yeah,
Not weird. Witty
for sure. No, weird for me now. Like I'm reclaiming the word. Weird for me is now like a compliment. I like weird. I'm seeking out weird. I want weird people because that's like a different level of just experimenting and being playful. To me, like that's what I see weird, not as in like other and different.
Yeah, isn't it the definition?
Which usually people use as that. And now I'm just like, you know what? If that's what I am, but that's what I'm also looking for, then that's what I'm gonna like. It's like my like almost mating call. I'm just like, I'm weird. Who else is weird? Who wants to come to the
I am.
the little
I am.
thing. Yeah. Exactly.
I'm gonna join your gang.
Exactly. Look at all the colors. Look at the weird cat pots.
Cat pots, yeah.
Yes, weird cat pots. That's our gang. Right. And then the special code is weird.
Yes.
Sure. Yeah, so put it out there.
Don't forget to own it, yeah?
Exactly. Yeah, common costume is preferred.
Mm.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Oh my gosh. Again, it took a fabulous turn. So where
so much.
We'll find you and make you part of their crew?
LinkedIn or Facebook. I'm on Instagram as well, but I've noticed that Facebook is much better for me at the moment.
All right. I'll put the links down below and show notes, description. So if you wanna, and you should, check Elena out, do that, and say hi, and leave a comment, and be all nice and follow. And my links are down below as well. Same. Right. Any parting one-liner, any kind of thing you want to just say before we sign off?
Own your uniqueness.
Love it. All right. Own your uniqueness. You hear it, everybody. Do it. Say it out loud. Be weird. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Thank you so much for being on here. I wish you a fabulous, weird, and the bestest way possible day.
Thank you so much. I really enjoyed it. Thank you for having me. And I love your bubbling energy.
Thank you. All right. Have a good day. Bye.
And to you. Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to this podcast episode. I absolutely thoroughly enjoyed this. It left me with so many questions in the bestest kind of way, and so many ways that I can now approach meditation and self-reflection again in a way that doesn't mean I spiral in my head. I end up with self-doubt, because at the end of the day, it's just about feeling in a way that you can sense it in your body, in a way that you can connect with your inner voice. And it's about, watching the language that you use on yourself, treating with your compassion and kindness. And then when you do that on yourself, you notice a shift. Then you treat other people differently, then they treat you differently, and we can just make the world a better place, you at a time. One you at a time? Is that a thing? I don't know. Let's make it a thing. Anyway, so thank you for listening to the podcast. If you want to follow me or Elena, you can hit us up on social media, slide into our DMs, check what's new, follow us, and also follow this podcast and leave a review if you liked it. This will help get it out more. This will help spread the word. And if you have people who you think will enjoy this podcast, please share it. And with that, I leave you to it. Have a fabulous week, and I will see you again or hear you again on Friday. Bye-bye.